For so many years, this watch pirate has wasted your time talking about other people's watches. This time around, we're going to switch it up. We're going to spend your time talking about our own watch from our own brand, Flux watches. And this is the launch edition of the Flux Quadras, and we're just gonna jump right ahead and talk about it right now. Me and Albert met in one of those watch community groups. We had the same vision, and that's it. No touching story, no eco-friendly mission, and 2 years later, Flux Watches was born. Our first collection is called the Quadras. We used most of our brain cells on the design, so the name kinda suffered. Quadras because it's got 4 corners, and kinda squarish, obviously. The diameter is 41 millimeters, the thickness is 11.8. We manage up to 70 meters of tested water resistance, which is more than you'll ever need, unless you're planning to drown stylishly. We installed the heavily customized Le Jour caliber, the LJPG101.FX. It adds a bit of style while keeping the smooth operation that you'd expect from a precision Swiss caliber. All that effort for something that just tells time. But at least it looks good while doing it. Speaking of effort, we spent a lot of cerebral grease and gallons of midnight espresso developing this toolless link system. From the start, we knew that we had to do it from scratch because obviously we're in love with pain and suffering. But hey, it's worth it. This elevates the experience like nothing else in a sports watch. Every adjustment feels like a small triumph. You'll think I could have just gone to a jeweler, but no, you didn't. You're here. And now you're part of the suffering. And somehow that makes it enjoyable. A firm hard press and the pins retract. Connect it with the next link and you're done. This design lets the bracelet stay thin while keeping the flow between the case and bracelet seamless, like it's always meant to be. We also used a leaf spring clasp that keeps the profile streamlined because obviously no buttons on the side. Minimal fuzz, maximum flow. On my 6¼ inch wrist, the watch wears a bit big, but that's fine for my GShock loving palate, and perfectly reasonable for most wrist sizes. Pair that with 904L steel for the case and bracelet, and you've got a shinier, more corrosion-resistant sports watch this side of Rolex backyard. A feature that no Rolex sports watch, or 99.99% of Swiss watches for that matter, has, can be found in this bracelet. If your wrist swells or shrinks during the day, there's a micro-adjust mechanism for on-the-fly resizing. But because the designer has OCD and insists on perfect symmetry, he also added another one on the other side of the clasp. That guy must be out of his mind, seriously. 2 micro-adjusts on one bracelet. But hey, now your wrist can change size twice as elegantly. Now, channel regulars know I love my strap changes, so it's no surprise every watch I make has this feature. Honestly, if I were commissioned to build a coffee table, it would also have a quick release mechanism. That's just how I roll, okay? Here, we've got it as well. Want to switch to a more casual FKM rubber strap? Well, easy, quick release end links, done. No tools, no fuzz, just instant style. You can basically redesign your watch mid-coffee break. That's the kind of life we're building here. This FKM rubber strap is a special white version that we'll release later. Each box includes a color-coordinated strap matching your dial. No extra charge. Come to think of it, I don't remember Albert budgeting for these. Well, best not to remind him. This one is a bit long though, so I'll have to remind our strap makers that I have Princess Pirate wrists and demand an extra hole. No puns intended. Oh, and the clasp is a little loose, so that's another thing to tweak for production models. Because perfection is overrated, but not quite that overrated. If you ask me, I prefer the bracelet. I can wear it in a suit doing groceries or fine dining in shorts. Wait, I mean the other way around. But hey, sure, why not? Either way, it's got that look that reminds me of my favorite brand. You know, those quirky guys whose name rhymes with Hoser and Brie. On to the operation. The movement is buttery smooth, as you'd expect from a Le Jour caliber. It's simple. We went with a time-only movement. Albert has a Chernobyl level aversion to date complications, so the dial stays clean. We did add a red crown indicator. So now, even if you're Jason Bourne, you won't forget to lock down your crown. I mean, seriously, survival skills aside, your watch is safe. Mission accomplished. Now, we've got other colors too, like this silver model called well, Silverstone. But before I reveal the rest of the other dial colors, let's see what you guys have to say during the unboxing video. These comments actually make it feel worth it, but there are some other things that you pointed out there that's kind of interesting. Ketamine Poppy says that it's a really cool bracelet design and the tandem of the toolless link system and the micro-adjust should be the new industry standard. Well, that's highly unlikely, but thank you for the compliment. Senotrius Neo would be waiting for the round case version rather than this TV style case, and he notices that there's a lot more effort done on the bracelet, which is actually true. La Collection Anonyma is on the other side of the fence and thinks that there should be more TV style watches in the market. And finally, Benjamin Viz did not disappoint and he delivered another epic full magazine review of the Quadras, and here, interestingly, he pointed out that it might have had a much better presence if it was a 36 or 37mm watch. Well, Benjamin might be onto something there. For these launch editions, we have 4 variants: Apex Blue, Silverstone, Vintage Black, and Adrenaline Red. One-time production only, after that they're forever gone. Continuous runs in the future might have similar colors but totally different dials. To build this case, the watch had to be constructed in multiple parts while keeping a slim profile. Everything had to fit inside, yet still allow for a deep dimensional dial. The case back and mid case are 2 separate components. That way, we can finish the case with more interesting angles. The mid case itself was designed using modern prototyping techniques, which basically means we could make tiny changes faster and complain about them sooner. The bezel itself is a separate component, which lets us take some liberties with shape. We tested multiple finishing techniques and ended up with a final product featuring 17 different facet finishes. Also inside the bezel, we built our indexes mounted on a transparent layer. It keeps the dial surface clean and no visible hardware, just the pure dial showing off. Speaking of dial, we used a modern flinqué enamel, combining the texture of traditional engravings with low-fire enameling techniques. The result is a deep, lush surface that you can actually admire without the indexes getting in the way. Even deeper into the watch, we used more custom parts to maximize viewing pleasure. The rotor features our Mark I air blade structure. It keeps full winding efficiency while freeing up an exceptional amount of space normally taken up by the rotor hub. The backplate of the movement was skeletonized to preserve its strength, yet give it a touch of aesthetic flair. And, of course, we engraved our seal of quality because after all that effort, it would be a shame if no one knew who to blame or thank. Once everything is fully assembled, the movement has that blend of automotive engineering with just a touch of aeronautics sprinkled in. We used Adrenaline Red on the rotor to grab your attention and tie it back to the red crown indicator. With Le Jouperet's fantastic build quality, the rotor spins freely, powered by its tungsten weight, like it actually enjoys doing its job. Lastly, of all of the components to feature, it's the bracelet. We actually went through multiple designs and even a few manufacturers to get this unique piece right. The first version was, let's just say, raw. It didn't have the quality we intended, so we redrew the whole thing from scratch 3 times over. Once we found the right manufacturer, we worked with them closely to refine every detail to match the flow of the watch. The end result is an elegant bracelet that is more than just a bracelet, it's actually a platform. Each link is constructed like a chassis and carriage, allowing us to change the upper design while keeping the core engineering intact. In short, it looks good now, but it's also built for what's next. All of those facets on the case flow seamlessly into the multiple facets of the bracelet. Each link features a mix of brush and polish finishes that play beautifully with light. The bracelet itself has a lot of articulation thanks to the narrow link design, giving it both flexibility and comfort on the wrist. And then there's the side profile, which is thin, sharp, and chamfered, something that Albert really pushed for in the development phase. With the toolless links and micro-adjust mechanism, we developed our patent-pending Nano-Adjust system. It gives the wearer a level of flexibility and fit that's basically unheard of at this price point. And yes, this Nano-Adjust system isn't just for the Quadras, it's being adapted for our future upcoming models. The case sides take full advantage of this multi-layered construction to showcase a variety of finishes, from sharp chamfer polishing to deep sandblasting. The shapes themselves are inspired by supercar design details where every contour has both purpose and attitude. It's not just for showing off different surfaces, it's about how to transition the feel on the wrist. The result is a case that looks complex but wears comfortably, just like the precision bodywork of a performance car. That kind of performance tweaking was also applied to the movement, where we heavily modified both the bridges and the rotor. The only parts left untouched were the gears, jewels, and the inner workings of the Swiss caliber itself. Every other surface was custom machined and reshaped to fit the character of the watch. These bridges aren't just redesigned, they're meticulously sculpted with precision, giving depth and texture to an area most brands leave plain. We had to design the rotor as a multi-component structure, unlike conventional rotors that are typically made of just one or two parts. This approach gave us far more freedom to reveal the rest of the movement, clearing out valuable visual space right at the center. Every piece was engineered to balance efficiency and aesthetics, and as a playful final touch, we even applied luminous material to the air blade itself, so even in low light conditions, you can still enjoy watching the movement come to life. We also did extensive work on the dial. Beyond the expressive modern flinqué enamel surface treatment, we engineered the hands to be dynamic. The hour and minute hands move beneath the indexes while the seconds hand takes advantage of the crystal's curvature revolving above them. It's a subtle effect that's completely unnecessary yet deeply satisfying to achieve. A small detail layered over a visual spectacle of shine and light play brought to life by those crisp, angular indexes. We also spent considerable time finding the right manufacturer capable of delivering this level of precision for our indexes and hands. In the end, a top Japanese hardware specialist proved to be the perfect fit for the job. And yes, we also added Swiss loom to the indexes and hands. We tried to pack in as much as possible, but space was limited. Definitely a point of improvement for future models. Pre-orders for the Flux Quadras opens up today, October 30. 100 units of the Quadras will be offered for pre-order, and after those are sold out, it will be offered at $2,800 MSRP. There are countless stories behind the development of this watch, but we can't hold you hostage for 15 hours to tell them all. What we can say is that we're incredibly proud to have collaborated with over a dozen manufacturers, and honestly, a little surprised that everything came together so seamlessly in the metal. As a brand, we don't have a cinematic origin story, no dramatic garage tale or lightning strike moment, but we do have a genuine motivation to work this hard on the Quadras. Albert and I were inspired by you, by the stories that never make headlines. This watch is for the ones who head out early, work tirelessly through the day, and come home to the arms of those they love. The unsung heroes who deserve something made with the same level of care that they give every single day. Sure, it's not your typical enthusiast watch, but your story deserves more than typical. And that's the story that we wanted to tell. And that is the Flux Quadras, our new watch that comes in 4 different colors: vintage black, silverstone, apex blue, and adrenaline red. And we're really excited to share this with everybody, and hopefully you enjoy the many different designs and things that we included in this watch. It's truly a remarkable journey. It took us a few years to refine many of these components. It's almost all of the things that we have here are specifically designed for this watch. I think only the gears and screws are not built for the Quadras, and we're really hoping that you like this watch. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Albert for making all of this happen. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be having this on my wrist and in my hands, and hopefully in your hands as well. We've sent this out to a few reviewers. There are some challenges here and there, but now it's gradually getting exposed to the public. And speaking of the public, we're going to be in Armani Hotel at the Burj Khalifa on November 21st and 22nd. If you're around the area, say hi to us. We have a couple of booths there, and you can also experience the Quadras and the different prototypes that we had to make to get this thing done. And we would also like to see you. Albert is planning to go through some other shows, some other watch events. So keep an eye on us and say hello to us whenever you see us. And we want to share all of these creations that we have. And speaking of creations, it's not. This is just the first foray to our watch making journey, if you can say that. We already have a few models in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. And for all of you who supported us in the very early stages of our project up until now, we would like to thank you so much for all of your support and your feedback, your comments, and your appreciation is very, very much welcome. And this is why we are making watches in the first place. So, what do you guys think about the Flux Watches Quadras, our launch edition? Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Suggestions and comments are all considered, and hopefully we can continue in this journey and not just making a sports watch, making a brand of our own, but also sharing watchmaking with you.